morning, guys. What's up? The lighting in here is crazy, but it's only gonna be like this for a second. And I also look crazy, but I'm only gonna look crazy for a second. Sorry, bear with me. Also, my camera is gonna die in about 10 seconds, so I need to go quickly. So I decided to make a little vlog. I just like vlogging, and I love chatting, and I love pretending that people care about my life. So that's what this is gonna be. I need to get ready because I have to leave in 15 minutes, and I still have not packed a bag because I'm staying at my parents' house. So, also, I know I look greasy, but I'm going to get my hair done, so it's fine. Wait, guys, I have a hair appointment at 12:45 and it's 11, and I was just freaking out about how I have to leave in 15 minutes. No, I have a whole hour. Guys, this is amazing. Don't you love when that happens? Never mind, I have a whole hour to get ready now. I would love to show you me meticulously putting on my mascara, but my camera's gonna die, and I think that that is an act from a higher power for you. You're welcome. Okay, bye. Hey guys, what's up? I got ready. I'll show you my outfit. Here's my outfit. Not my best work, but am I gonna be pulling up my shirt all day? Yes, correct. Can you see my tan lines? Yes, but hey, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Also, hey, Tyler, the creator, just dropped a new album, so unfortunately I will be listening to that in the car. I've already downloaded it. I'm very excited. Love that man. But I need to pack because I'm gonna go stay with my parents tonight. I actually just thrifted these books. That's How to Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone and Play World by Adam Ross. I was on a book buying ban, but I never extend that to thrifted books because this hardback, full price, would have been $40. And I paid like $3. So I'm making a coffee for the road because I am an addict. Actually, hilarious story. It's not actually that funny of a story because it was kind of traumatic for me, but I had a professor, because I'm a singer, so I had one of my professors for voice refer me to addiction services for my caffeine addiction. God forbid a girl drink more cups of coffee in a day than hours she sleeps at night. Like, whatever. Well, I have all my stuff, so I'm gonna go get in the car and drive to my hair appointment before I become late. It's now 12:45, which is when my appointment is supposed to be. I'm nearly there. I was gonna be early, and then unfortunately I got stuck behind a car going 40. I'm like turning into the parking lot now, but usually I like to be early. I hate being late, even though I'm frequently late to places. Anyways, guys, get a good look of this hair. Get a good look of what this looks like. I don't know what it's gonna look like after, but I just want you guys to ingrain this image in your brain of this hair, because who knows, it might be the exact same, or I might look like a brand new girl, okay? Okay. I'm gonna cut this guy off. Sorry. Okay, last look. Hey guys. It's pretty much the same, I just got it cut. I got some blonde added. She cut my bangs too, which I just need to blow out. You wanna say hi, Mom? Hi, Mom. We're getting Thai food for dinner. I'm really excited. I really like Thai food. Ow! I drove to the city to see my mom. Her glasses are so cute. Nice. Killer. I feel like I look like a Utah girl with these curls. They look like Utah curls. Like, you know how Mormon people only curl their hair and then they leave the ends straight? I feel like I look like someone who has Utah curls, and I don't really know if that's up my alley.
You look more like that.
Let's make matcha, guys. I'm so excited. This is, my sister brought it back from Japan. My almond milk. Some water. Audrey says do enough to cover the bottom. I take my handy dandy whisk and I whisk in an M motion. Fancy. Cheers. Oh, that's good. It's a design flaw. It is 10:50. I'm gonna go to bed soon because I have to be up early-ish, not really early. I mean, like on work days, I get up at like 5:45. So anything after 7 to me is like a freaking dream. Tomorrow I have to be up at like 8 because my mom and I are gonna hang out, but she has a hair appointment early in the morning. So if I want to hang out with her, I have to be up early enough to go to her hair appointment with her. I'm so sleepy. Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bugs bite. Hi guys. Good morning. It's 9:40 a.m. We're at my mom's hair appointment. She's doing her mascara in the car, so I won't show her right now. Anyways, what are we gonna do today? We're gonna go book shopping and we're gonna drive around a lot and we're gonna wait for my mom to get out of her 4-hour hair appointment.
No.
And your hair appointment's at 9:45?
10.
You're here so early. It was 9 o'clock and I'm grabbing my yogurt bowl from the kitchen and she's saying, we have to go, Madeline, we have to go. I'm like, Mom, I don't have socks. I really need socks. It's like, we don't have time for socks. And so I had to run out into the car with no shoes and no socks on, only for us to get here 20 minutes early. What's up? I dropped mommy off at school, aka my mom at her hair appointment, and now I'm deciding where to go. Okay, first stop, let's go. Here's cue montage. There probably won't be a montage. It'll probably just be me when I'm there. Okay, we're here. We have arrived. I don't really know what I'm even looking for. I don't know what books I still have on my TBR that I haven't read yet. Really, I don't need to go book shopping. I'm only really going because I'm bored and because I'm here. Here are my goals for what I want to buy today. I would like to buy a nonfiction book, for sure. I have not been reading nonfiction like at all, and that feels wrong to me. I would like to buy a book that's out of my comfort zone maybe, because I tend to read like the same type of books every time. I read like that classic, you know, lit fic, 20-year-old in crisis, kind of no plot, character driven. And I would like to read a book that's different, read a book that maybe like scares me, you know, something that I'm not typically drawn to. And I'd also like to buy a book that I've never heard of. Okay, because I find that, not that I'm still on Book Talk, like I was definitely really on Book Talk when I was younger, and now I've kind of grown to that, but I still do get a lot of my recommendations from the internet, like from BookTube and I guess still Book Talk, like creators I follow on Book Talk. I just don't think that they're like Book Talk books. You know what I mean? Like there's those books that sit on the Book Talk counter at your bookstore. I don't think I'm super into those books anymore. I still get all my book recommendations pretty much from the internet and from my friends. And I want to take a chance at a book, okay? I want to read a book and determine if I like it without any prejudice or prior knowledge of other people's opinions on it, because I'm really bad for doing that. That's my goal. I'd also like to not spend all my money, but hey, who knows? I always end up spending all my money. Let's go, girls. I'm so excited. One time I met a girl who was on tour with this author and she was so sweet. She was doing like his PR or something. And so now I'm really intrigued because she was like the nicest person I've ever met. I met her at school. And so now I want to buy this book. I just got out of the bookstore and I kind of successfully completed my mission, which I'm really proud of. I also had in mind that I wanted to buy more Canadian authors. I didn't say it because honestly I didn't think that I would. I've been trying to buy more Canadian authors for a while and I just feel like I've been slacking on that. And I actually did. 2 of my books are Canadian authors. One of my book is a local author, which I'm really excited for. So for my first book, it was the nonfiction book and I bought The White Album by Joan Didion. I've read other Joan Didion, I've not read this one, so I'm very excited. So the next 2 books are both books that I have no idea what they're like. I have not heard any talk about them, and I have no idea if I'm gonna like them or not. So they could kind of both fall into the other 2 categories, which was book that's kind of out of my comfort zone and book that I haven't heard anything about. Both these books fall into both those categories. I'll say that this book is more out of my comfort zone. Look, local author. Ah! She's Nova Scotian, I believe. That's so excited. This is Milktooth by Jamie Burnett. She's a Canadian author. I almost want to keep this freaking sticker on because I don't think I've ever read a local author. It's set in Cape Breton, which is in Nova Scotia, and I'm so pumped. It doesn't seem entirely out of my comfort zone, but it's definitely not what I typically read about. Then finally, this is also a book I haven't heard anything of, but it's also by a Canadian author. This is Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. I will say this book seems right up my alley. The little blurb says, a love story about two people pulled apart by the same force that draws them together, music. Guys, if you don't know, I'm a musician as well. So anything that has to do with music is just so up my alley. I love reading about music. From the blurb, it kind of just seems like something that's gonna maybe motivate me in my music endeavors. So those are my 3 books that I bought today. Oh wait, these are like low-key really aesthetically pleasing. Now where to go next? She looks so cute. Now we're going to get lunch. I'm very excited. Yes. Hello guys. How are you today? I hope you're doing lovely. I just got back from work. I did start a new book today when I was at work. I started The 7-Year Slip. It's actually really good so far. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked because the book's good. I'm shocked that I like it so much so far. The type of book just doesn't really seem like it's up my alley. Like, it's a romance with magical realism, and I just don't love romances all the time, and I don't love magical realism. Not that I don't love romance. I've been saying that recently, and I don't think that's necessarily true. It's just, it doesn't take a lot for me to dislike a romance. I get like icked out really easily. Guys, what's wrong with me? I'm like that in real life too, seriously. Like, I get icked out so easily in real life. And I think it's the same for my romance books. Like, something's kind of icky and I'm like, ugh. Also, I feel like a lot of the romance books that I get recommended are from like Book Talk. And I think Book Talk has a very certain type of romance that they like. And I don't always necessarily like reading that type of romance. And so I was really skeptical about this book because basically this woman, her name's Clementine. When her aunt passes away, she takes over her apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, New York. And when she goes into her aunt's apartment, there's like a man standing there and he's saying that he's subletting from her aunt and is talking as if her aunt is still alive, but her aunt's dead. And she finds out that he exists 7 years in the past and that there's like a time slip in the apartment. And so that doesn't really seem like something that usually would interest me because I don't really like magical realism a lot, especially in romances, because I already have a hard time connecting with a romance book sometimes because like if the characters are icky, I just can't do it. If the characters are icky in a lit fic and there's like the story's good or like the flawed parts of the character add to the story, I'm like okay with it. But in a romance where I feel like in a romance the characters and their connections are so important that if I don't like the characters, I hate the story. So when there's magical realism, I find I have a little bit of a harder time connecting to the characters and liking them. But so far, honestly, I really do like the story. I'm only 75 pages in, but I'm pleasantly surprised. One thing I'm super surprised with is the dialogue. The dialogue is so good. Honestly, it's so realistic. It makes me laugh. We were introduced to a male main character, I believe. He's not like the male main character yet, but he is. Like, you know he is. He's a little bit cringy. Like, the touch, a twinge of cringe, if you will. But not enough to like ick me out. And if it's not enough to ick me out, it means that it's really not that cringy. A lot of times I find male main characters very cringy just because I hate men. So, but so far like really good. I'm quite enjoying it. I kind of felt like I needed a rom-com because I find that romances get me out of that reading slump real quick. And so I really wanted to read a romance. And so I'm really glad that this is going good so far. Ah, my camera's gonna die. Okay, well, I'll keep you guys up to date. I'm gonna plug in my camera now.
just went to the beach. It was very peaceful. Well, was it peaceful? I don't know. It was half peaceful. Half of it was, there was these teenage boys there. They must be in like maybe grade 11, grade 12. And they're just like drinking Bud Lights and playing football. They're daring each other to come talk to me, to like come up to me and talk to me. I can hear them, like they're talking very loudly. And for a bit of it they were talking in the water, and like sound travels in the water, of course. So they were trying to come talk to me because I was like the only other person there for a while. So it's just like, oh my god, like there's a girl on the beach, like let's go talk to her. They never did, but they were very strange. And I finished breakfast at Tiffany's. I also finished today, I finished a 7-year slip, which I have so many thoughts that I need to share with you. Anyways, that was very peaceful. It was a really nice night. Dude, some dude literally just spit out all of his beer. This is crazy. I'm so glad that I'm not 17 anymore. Goodbye. Hello. Hi guys, what's up?
I keep eating another grape instead of talking. Oh my god. Lock in! So, I read 2 books today. I finished 2 books. I'm really proud of myself for it because they were both on my TBR. The 7-year slip, I finished it at work today. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I rated the 7-year slip, I think I rated it a 3-star. I was really in between rating it like 2.5 to 3. I was even going to be petty and do a 2.75. I think it does deserve a 3-star. I think that that's a good review for it. Going into this book, I had like mixed expectations, I guess. Didn't think I was gonna like it because I don't like magical realism, and I know it has magical realism, and I'm very picky with my romances. But I was excited because this book has such good reviews. I was just very interested to see how it would play out. I do think it's a good read if you like romance. I think that if you're like me and you're picky with your romances, this might not be the one for you. Ultimately, it was aggressively average for me, unfortunately, in the nicest way possible. Here's why. Right off the bat, I thought that this had really good dialogue. Like, I was laughing. I was laughing out loud at some of the dialogue. I think it was so real, specifically between the main girl, Clementine, and her friends. I was like, wait, like that's how I talk to my friends. Like I could see those conversations happening in real life with my friends. I thought the characters were okay. There's a massive spider web in the corner of my room. I thought the story was cute. I did. I thought that the love was cute. They were very good for each other. But I don't even know if I can say that confidently because what happened in this book? What happened? I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it is very insta-love. I didn't really feel any build-up. And I thought that there was such a cool opportunity to do something with like the 7-year time slip, right? Like the fact that he literally exists 7 years in the past, like that's such a cool idea. But the way it was executed, it was like there was no build-up. There was no like yearn. Like you have the chance to show 7 years of yearning. You know? I know it's a short book. It's only like 300 and something pages. Like, that's not incredibly long. That's pretty standard for a romance book. Ugh, I don't know. I don't buy it. For 7 years, there wasn't a lot of character development. Like, throughout the whole book, you know they're gonna be in love. And I know it's a romance book, so with pretty much every romance book, you know that they're gonna end up in love at the end because it's a romance book. It's a happy ending. But I didn't even doubt it for a little second. There wasn't like a split second where I was like, there's no, it's not that there was like a 3rd act breakup, but it was like, there's no stakes. What's the stakes? What's the dilemma? Like the whole time you just know, like, okay, there's nothing, there's no problem big enough in which these 2 people are not gonna be in love. Like, I'm sorry. It was just very, I don't know, it kind of fell flat to me. There's no build, like, it was fine. There's a part where they're talking about how he's like, but he's off limits. And there's no single reason why he's off limits. He's single, he's showing his interest in her, he's available, he says how much he's missed her. There's no reason that man's off limits. The writing was fine. I thought it was cute. I thought that he was charming. I thought that she wasn't annoying. I don't know. It was cute. It's definitely for someone. I can see why people like it. I feel like it takes a little bit more yearn and chemistry and drama for me to fall for it. Also, just in my personal life, I'm really hard to please. And I need that in my romance books too. So if I don't have that yearn and that drama, it's just a little tough for me. Today I also read Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. What did I even think about this book? Is this like a bad opinion to have? I also thought it was like, okay. I was expecting myself to love it like I've loved other classics, but I just didn't. I really haven't read a lot of classics that I haven't liked, so I just expected to love it. Sorry y'all, I'm munching on these grapes. I think when a lot of people read this book, they think like, Holly Golightly, like, wow, what a woman, you know? Because she's supposed to be very quirky and charming and charismatic. I thought she was so incredibly annoying. Am I like not a feminist? So I hate women. She's like OG manic pixie dream girl, you know? I did think the writing was really good, of course, overlooking the stark, clear era time difference. There are things in this book that do not fly today. Justifiably so. Some language that I would never use, which is just a sign of the times, right? Unfortunately, I thought the writing was compelling. I was definitely intrigued the whole time. I just simply thought she was annoying. That's about it. Sorry. I did like the book. Okay, next. I'm starting Last Summer in the City by Gianfranco Caligari, and I'm really excited. I was gonna start this on the beach, but I just couldn't really focus because there was some people around me. So I'm gonna pick this up really soon. I might start it tonight, I don't know yet. I have done a lot of reading today. Let's get more personal here. Let me tell you about something that happened at work today. So I'm a barista. I've had this guy come in a couple times a week for the last 2 summers, which is just as long as I've worked there. And every time he comes in, he low-key sexually harasses me. He says some questionable things. He's not very kind to me. Well, he's kind. He's kind, but he makes advances. He's tried to set me with a son. He said some very concerning things, and recently he made some remarks that were not legal. They were talking about younger girls and how he feels about younger girls, and it made me super uncomfortable. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, oh, you're so triggered, like I'm triggering you, like I must have struck a chord, you know? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. A minor. A minor. Are you picking up when I'm putting down? Anyways, I'm 19, but I've recently started training a 17-year-old. And he came in today, and immediately, dude, I can't even. The way he looked at my 17-year-old barista, the girl I'm training, he looked at her like she was fresh meat, okay? He looked at her like, oh my god, like a lion laying eyes on its prey. Oh, it was so gross. So he immediately goes, what's up, Treble? Double trouble. And looks at us like literally like we're a piece of meat. He just looked evil. And so I said, hey, like, let's just keep in mind that she's 17. He goes, what? I said, she's 17, so, you know, what flies with you and I does not fly with her. He goes, what do you mean by that? I said, you know, don't harass this one. And straight up said that. I was just said, don't harass this one. Dude, the look on his face, he was like, oh, I would never do that. He said, I'm always nice to you. What are you talking about? And he said, is it that one time I tried to set you up with my son? I said, nope, try again. He said, is it like the politics thing? Because last time he came in, we fought about politics. In what world do I look like a Trump supporter? I go to music school and I work at a coffee shop. Trump supporter? You're crazy. And then I was like, no, dude, like, you know that you come in here and you're insanely off-putting to me every time. He goes, I've only ever been told that I'm personable. And then I repeated what he said to me a couple weeks ago when he was talking about his feelings towards young women. And he said, oh, I've never ever said that. I've never said that. I said, I need to know if you're being serious. He goes, I'm being serious. I said, no. I need to know if you're actually being serious and you think that what you said is not wrong. He said, well, I never said that, so. I'm like, dude, my boss was there. She told you off. I told you off. You know what you said. I said, anyways, regardless, don't be weird to my young barista because you will not come back here. And he put his sunglasses on. He took his drink and he left so fast. He was like white as a ghost. Hopefully he was super embarrassed because I've never like really called him out before. I've talked back, but the way I talk back is just like making fun of him or being super sarcastic because I'm uncomfortable. And this time, I don't play when it comes to, like, she's so freaking cute. She's just like 17-year-old, it's her first job. She's so happy to be there. She's so sweet to all the customers. And I don't want her to be taken advantage of because sometimes people take advantage of nice, sweet girls. That's what happened at work today. But this might be me signing off for the day. I'm a little bit sleepy. It's crooked, but just let it be, okay? It's because you're sitting on my pillow. I feel like that would be the problem. Hey guys, I don't even want to talk about my bangs. I know what they look like right now, I know, and I just simply don't want to talk about it. Let's give a little recap of my day. What happened? I worked. I don't really have any interesting stories about work. It was very chill. Had a good tip day. It was busy. Oh, I started reading Last Summer in the City. I really like it so far. I do. It's an Italian classic. It's translated by Howard Curtis. I really do love this book. This is like very much the perfect book for me. Set in summer, set in Rome. Man just turned 30. He's kind of a mess. Kind of an unreliable narrator. It's like Catcher in the Rye if Holden Caulfield was 30 and European. Like, it kind of gives the same vibes. And I do see a lot of similarities to Call Me By Your Name of sorts. I would say that Call Me By Your Name X, Catcher in the Rye X, like The Stranger, maybe? I feel like that's a good depiction of it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's just about a guy who's going through a kind of discombobulated point of his life where he's just kind of aimless. And I don't know, he stresses me out a little bit. Leo is his name. He stresses me out, but in like a, oh, okay, right, kind of way. And not like a, He lives his life in a way that I could never live my life. And there's something admirable about that. I have about 50 pages left, so I'm gonna try to finish that tonight. My bangs are scared. When I do this, I feel like Emma Stone is super bad. Sorry. Also, can we talk about the fact that Harry Styles dropped a vibrator? Honestly, everyone's like, that did not shock me, and even a little tiny bit. Not to be like, I knew it before all you dummies, I knew it. Not to be like that, but genuinely, I knew it. Like, I had assumed that this was coming for a while. I kind of thought that this was always the direction that pleasing would go. It's called pleasing. It's called pleasing, guys. I'm just like, I think it's so interesting for a man like Harry Styles, who obviously came from like a boy band and who's a very successful musician and has such a large like female fan base, to put out a vibrator is so interesting. It's so interesting. And I'm not gonna say more. And I really want to. I don't think I'm ready to share those thoughts with you guys yet. What I will say is, you know your audience, you know your fan base, you know they're primarily women, and you know that they're probably got the hots for Harry Styles. So selling a vibrator, that's gold. Yeah, that's kind of the only thing that I have to talk about, I guess. My brother's home, which is nice. I woke up this morning to get ready for work and he was in my kitchen bright and early. All right. Okay, well that's all. I'm gonna read my book and go to bed. I'm super sleepy. Night, guys. I really wish that I had been recording when I finished this book. My jaw literally dropped. This was me when I finished the book. Okay, live action. I look atrocious, I know. Let's move past it. So, I finished Last Summer in the City. I gave it 4.5 stars. I know that's being like picky, but I'm trying to be tougher with my 5 stars. And for me, this wasn't a perfect book. There were some parts in the middle that dragged a little for me. I did really like it. I don't even know if there's really a plot. It's a lot of like going to people's houses and being a bad person, which is cool. I enjoyed it. I knew what I was getting myself into. After a while, you know, it's like, okay. The writing made up for it. Beautiful writing. So many lines that I copied into my notes app because it was just so beautiful. Love this cover, by the way. Beautiful. I like feel sick. I like feel ill after finishing this book. You feel so connected to the protagonist, like the narrator, our boy Leo. You feel so connected to him and attached. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but just, it was so good. It was so good. I do see the similarities to Call Me By Your Name, not in the plot or the concept, but it's set in Italy, it's summer vibes, it's a little heartbreaking. Definitely see relation to Catcher in the Rye. We have what I would consider an unreliable narrator, which I feel like everybody talks about Catcher in the Rye when you talk about an unreliable narrator. I feel like that's everyone's first experience with that in reading. That was definitely mine. It was definitely a good summer read if you want a summer read with a touch of sadness and drama. This has you covered. It's so short and there's like such little plot, it's hard for me to really get into it. I really did enjoy this writing. You'd be reading along and just kind of going with the story, and then suddenly there would be a line and you just, oh my gosh, like it would just like knock the wind out of you because you're reading about this guy and his kind of effed up life, and then he's being a douchebag, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but he's so smart. Oh, but what is that? That's such an emotional impact that you just had in my life. Like, ugh. A constant gut punch, but in a really good way. In a way that I'd recommend. I think I'm gonna end this video here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching. Lots of love. I'll see you in the next video. That's all.